Hey everybody, it's LTA Sportscast here. We are here today to talk about some NFL things today. I am Trey.
I'm Logan.
And like I said, we'll be talking about NFL, just kind of just what's going on in the NFL currently. Biggest move that actually happened recently, as a lot of you probably already know, Phillip Rivers has re-signed with the Indianapolis Colts. 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who hasn't played football since January of 2021. It's been almost 5 years at this point since he's last played a football game.
Yeah. Really surprising move, man. Really surprising.
Yeah, if he starts this first game, he's going to go up against a very good Seattle defense. Then he's got to take on another very solid San Francisco defense. Then he gets to play against Jacksonville's defense, and he gets to round out the season against Houston. Now, I'm not saying he's going to start all 4 games. As we know, Riley Leonard is on a day-to-day basis. He is the backup for Daniel Jones, but he was day-to-day with a knee injury. So there is still a chance it'll be Riley Leonard. I don't know what the Colts have decided on yet. If it's Riley, either way, I don't think it's going to really make a difference. I don't think either of them are going to be playing on a level that Daniel Jones has been playing this year. And if it is Phillip Rivers, Lord help him, because he might die out there for the next 4 games if he starts all 4 of them. Genuinely, that's not even a joke. I'm not trying to be rude. It's just the man hasn't played football for 5 years, and sure, he was one of the greats for the 2000s and 2010s.
He's an old man now, bro.
But he's a grandpa.
Yeah.
Literally. He is a grandfather.
Yeah.
And a little up there for playing football in age.
For sure, definitely. Like I said, definitely a really surprising move. Did not expect, I don't think anybody saw it coming.
No, but you just got to think about it, too. It's just desperation.
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely desperation, for sure.
You have Daniel Jones, ACL, out for the season. Riley Leonard, knee, day-to-day basis. Anthony Richardson apparently had something hit him in his eye. Now he can't see out of one of his eyes. And honestly, he'd be terrible either way.
Yeah, he'd be better blind.
It's just, I guess they just called him up. We're like, hey, last time you played with us, we went to the playoffs, so maybe we can do that again.
Run it back, see what happens. Really interested to see how this plays out and see how many games he actually starts or even plays in. If they go to the playoffs, do you see him starting?
Depends on who they trust, because it really depends on how he plays. You go back and you look at Joe Flacco. He wasn't even in a job for a little while, and then he got signed to Cleveland, and he had that run in Cleveland. Then he went to Cincinnati, had that little run in Cincinnati, and now obviously Joe Burrow's back. Yeah. And speaking about Joe Burrow, there are some very interesting comments that were made by Joe Burrow in his last interview about how the Bengals front office is essentially just killing his love for the game, and he's thinking about
sounds like retirement at this point.
Sounds like he does not want to play anymore. He's lost the love for the game, and you honestly hate to see that, because that's a big reason why a lot of guys play football for as long as they do, because they love the game.
Exactly.
And you could say the same thing with Phillip Rivers. Maybe he still loves the game. Maybe he felt like he didn't give it all he had and wanted to maybe see if he could still do it for a year or two, which is interesting, but
we'll see what happens.
Joe Burrow is too young to be thinking about this right now, and
absolutely.
He's at the prime. He's still in his prime. Last season he was insane. If Joe Burrow has a halfway decent defense last season, the Bengals have a very good shot of winning the Super Bowl.
And Joe Burrow has a very good shot at winning MVP if they can win more games.
Yeah, so I definitely think that Joe Burrow needs either he needs to move to a different team, or something has to happen with the Bengals front office, because there's something going on there, and I think it's I can't remember his name, but their head coach or OC, like it's just realistically, I think he just needs a change of scenery.
I think that would be beneficial for Burrow for sure.
Where he would go, I don't know. I have a very interesting destination for him. I think that a team that could really use his talents is Minnesota. As you can see, we are Washington fans, so we got to see the Minnesota blow us out 31-0 last week.
That was fun.
But that is just because team is terrible and can't do anything.
Yep.
But Minnesota as a whole right now, their quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, is not the answer.
Not great.
Somebody, though, that they could plug into that system to have a Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson kind of like that, level of guys. Joe Burrow would fit in there very well. I think that he, with Kevin Stefanski, would be a great pairing. And obviously, he played with Justin Jefferson in LSU in 2019 with that crazy season.
Yeah.
And played with Jamar. And speaking on that, Jamar maybe once out of Cincinnati now. And I think for Cincinnati, that could definitely be a good trading piece to get them either picks and maybe somebody else. Because, we saw that Joe Flacco can definitely play in this offense. They definitely need some offensive line bolstering, though, because it's still terrible. But yeah, it's very disappointing to see Joe Burrow as young as he is. I don't even think he's 29 years old. He's not even 30, and he's thinking of not even really retiring, but he just doesn't have a love for the game because of a front office issue. And that's really disappointing for someone so young in the NFL to not want to be playing anymore.
Especially with his talent and the Super Bowl run. That was fun to watch. It was really fun to watch them knock out the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. That was just...
Yeah,
that was something. Something special for sure.
The other thing, too, is that, it boils down to front office issues.
Right.
They had a solid defense in that Super Bowl run, and ever since then, their defense hasn't been great. Their O-line has still been bottom 10 in the league. You could even argue bottom 5.
Yeah.
And Joe Burrow just hasn't had the protection he needs. He hasn't had the defense that could help him. Last year, I think he threw for almost 5,000 yards. 40-some touchdowns. Jamar Chase was going insane. But that's all the Bengals had going for them. They had no defense at all. And I do think that Joe Burrow needs that change of scenery. And like I said, I think the best destination for him right now is Minnesota. I think that he would definitely fit in well in Minnesota.
I tend to agree with you. It is a kind of a crazy thing to think about, but I tend to agree. I think if the Bengals miss playoffs this year, which they honestly probably will.
There's like a 99% chance they're going to miss the playoffs.
They probably are going to miss playoffs, right? And if they miss playoffs this year, I could maybe see him getting moved during the offseason. The big thing is, who's going to be willing to take on that contract? That's a big contract Joe Burrow has.
It's a big contract, but it's a contract for a guy that can perform.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question marks really in Joe Burrow except for his health, right? So,
but you think about it too. Someone takes on that contract, especially at the end of the season. He has the whole off season to get back true to form. He has all this time to do what he needs to do, and I think that is more than capable for him to do in Minnesota. I do think that the Minnesota O-line, when fully healthy, is definitely much better than the Bengals offensive line, and we know that the Minnesota Vikings have a very stout defense. They do. They got a lot of good guys on that defensive end. And on offense, a lot of their skill players are very solid. I will say running back is definitely a concern with Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is just, older running back, not, peak of his powers anymore like he was in Green Bay. And Jordan Mason is okay. He's nothing super special, He's a guy. He reminds me a lot of Brian Robinson, where he's not a guy that's going to give you 1,000 yards every season,
right?
But he can get you a reliable 800 yards and 8 to 10 touchdowns on the year and be that kind of bridge running back you need before you get that next talent that you're really looking for at the running back position. He's kind of like the Jacoby Brissett of running backs, where it's kind of like just a bridge between, I guess you could say like generations of talent.
Right.
And I think, again, Joe Burrow could thrive very, very well in Minnesota. He's going to get more time in the pocket to pass. He's going to have... the receiver core might not be as good. I think he has a better tight end in Hawkinson than what he has in Cincinnati. But Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson are 1A, 1B in the league. So it's not like he's going to really get a worse wide receiver 1. Jordan Addison is very solid. And... no shade to T. Higgins or anything, but he has had some his health issues this season and hasn't been there all year. And neither has Joe, but he's only really had Jamar this season.
Yeah, think about behind a better line, you're not moving as much. You're also not taking as many hits. Maybe Joe Burrow can stay a little bit healthier in Minnesota if he goes there or anywhere else with a better O-line.
Yeah, absolutely. Then moving on. Looking at the playoff picture currently. Playoffs looking interesting this season. Very interesting.
Commanders 1 seed in the NFC.
All right. We're literally eliminated from playoffs.
Yeah, we're not going to be there this year, guys.
But I will say it's been really interesting to watch, just this season kind of unfold, especially in recent weeks. New Orleans beat Tampa. In what world does that happen? That's insane. Carolina is in the hunt and has a chance to make the playoffs. Carolina has a better record than Kansas City right now.
I would love to see Carolina in the playoffs.
Genuinely, Carolina has the chance to win their division. Them and Tampa are both 7-6. Tampa, I believe, has the edge because they beat Carolina earlier this season. I can't remember if Carolina and Tampa are face each other off in the last game of each of their seasons. I'm not 100% sure.
Imagine that, man.
If it comes down to that to see who wins the division and makes the playoff, that'd be amazing. I'd love to see Carolina do it. Bryce Young has looked so much better this season. He's just seemed so much more confident in his throws. He's not making as many bad throws. I mean, if you look at box scores, you're seeing he's only throwing 170, 180 yards a game, but he's not throwing 170 yards a game and throwing 3 interceptions a game. He has had his lows this season. That is for sure. But the highs are incredible. And we didn't really see that much last season.
No, we didn't see too many highs from Bryce Young last season or his whole career really at all. But like I said, I would like to see Carolina in the playoffs. It would just be something different. And I like to see different.
Yeah. And then moving on the AFC side of things, Kansas City really doesn't look like they're going to make the playoffs this year.
Speaking of different. Since 2014 would be the last time.
Yeah. Kansas City has been a very stout team for a long time.
About 10 years.
And to see them not in the playoffs really boils down to everybody kind of around Patrick Mahomes hasn't been performing this season. A lot of guys haven't been there because of injuries. Patrick Mahomes is having, honestly, a very solid season. Outside of that last game, which he threw no touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
Which one of them did bounce off of Travis Kelce's hands? The throw was a little bit behind Travis Kelce, though.
But, I mean, it is Travis Kelce. You expect him to make that catch.
Exactly.
It's crazy to think about that Kansas City is not even in the playoffs currently. They have the same record as Miami.
I'm all here for it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm all here for it, bro.
I'm not complaining,
No,
but it's just kind of crazy to think about the fact that he's not even Kansas City's not in the playoffs. Current playoff picture in the AFC, I believe, is I want to say it's New England 1, Denver 2. They're both 11-2. Maybe it is Denver.
I think Denver is.
I just know that Denver and New England are like
1 and 2. Yeah.
1 and 2, and then
I think they're both 11-2.
I want to say Jacksonville, and then Pittsburgh. Those are our top 4. Which Jacksonville being there is honestly insane. I did not think Jacksonville was going to be like that this season. But it seems they're putting 2 and 2 together. The Jacoby Myers signing was really big for them earlier this season. Jacoby Myers has always been a very solid receiver, but he was stuck in purgatory with the Raiders for a while, and you don't want to be on the Raiders.
No, no.
So now that he has Trevor Lawrence throwing to him, Trevor Lawrence has a decent O-line. He's got a good skill players around him. The defense is solid. They're 9-4. They're primed to make a playoff berth. And in the same division, you have the Colts who just signed Phillip Rivers again, and Houston, who has the number 1 defense in the league, allowing, I think, only 17 points a game, which is insane because of just the amount of talent in the league currently. So I want to say the 5 seed is Buffalo. Then, no, I want to say it's the Chargers. Then Buffalo. Then I want to say it's Indy is 7 seed right now.
Let's pull it up right here, guys. See it's our NFL playoff picture.
But yeah.
Never mind.
No, go back up.
I think this might be it. After week 14. Here, AFC.
Oh my God, I got it right.
AFC, we got Denver, 1 seed, New England, 2 seed, Jacksonville, 3 seed, Pittsburgh, 4 seed, Chargers, 5 seed, Bills, 6 seed, Texans, 7 seed.
Okay, so now the Texans are over Indianapolis. Indianapolis isn't in the playoffs anymore. After starting 8-2, they're no longer in the playoffs. And I don't think they're going to make it, to be honest with you. I think that if Indianapolis and Houston win their next 3 games, that last game will decide who makes the playoffs. That last game of the season. But I don't think Indianapolis is going to be able to win the rest of their games. They have a really tough last 4 games. And then in the NFC, we have the Rams at 1, Green Bay at 2, Philadelphia at 3, Tampa at 4, Seattle at 5, San Fran 6, and Chicago at the 7. Now, listen to this. Chicago is 9-4, and they're in the 7 seed.
The NFC is stacked.
Detroit's not even in the playoffs right now.
The NFC is looking like
arguably
the AFC.
Is the better team than Chicago. However, they just haven't been putting a lot of things together. They've had definitely a tougher schedule this season. They've had some games that have gotten away from them that really shouldn't have. And maybe they'll be able to make the playoffs. I'm not sure. But in the hunt, Detroit's first off, then Carolina, then Dallas. Which is crazy to think that Dallas still has a chance, but I do think Philadelphia is going to be the team leading the East. They play Washington twice, which I don't think that Washington's going to win either game. They might be able to pull something off considering that Philly's offense has been very stagnant, but I don't think the Washington defense is enough to stop Philadelphia if it's not enough to stop Minnesota Vikings from scoring 31.
Especially the run game.
So, yeah, I think Philadelphia is probably going to finish out. I think this is going to be roughly what the season's going to look like, what the playoff picture is going to look like by the end of the season. I think the only changes that may happen is maybe Detroit and Chicago, and depending on how Tampa and Carolina play, Carolina could be the 4 seed there in the playoffs for the NFC South, which would be pretty insane to think about Carolina going to the playoffs. It's been a little while. I think they haven't made it since the Cam Newton days.
I don't think so either.
So, playoff picture's looking very interesting this season. It's been a very interesting NFL season. I've been, as a Washington fan, I have not been very happy this season. Yep. As a football fan, I've been pretty happy with the entire season as a whole. It really feels like we're back in the 2010s with the teams that are in the playoffs currently, especially in the AFC. New England, Denver, Jacksonville. Those are teams that were especially New England and Denver when Peyton and Brady were there respectively. Those were two top teams in the AFC. And then Jacksonville, when they had the Jacksonville defense, they were obviously up there. Pittsburgh was up there. Baltimore was up there.
Which I don't think Baltimore's in the picture.
They are not. They are not in the picture. They might be in the hunt, but they're not. In my opinion, Baltimore's not going to make it. I believe Pittsburgh is going to be representing the North. Well, it's right there in the hunt. A little down. Right there in the hunt.
Yeah. Baltimore's in the hunt.
Baltimore's in the hunt.
But that's only because of the division.
Right. They're only in the hunt because of the division is so close as it is. But I do think that I do believe that Pittsburgh will be representing the AFC North. Very interesting season. Some, very interesting moves been going on. And then we got, obviously we're Washington fans. And this season's been disappointing, to say the least.
Very.
Jaden Daniels has not been able to stay healthy. It feels like we're watching RG3 all over again.
Feels like the Dan Snyder days.
It feels like
Really
what my main issue is recently is that they keep trying to put Jaden back in. The season's over. Leave him out for the rest of the season. Give him time to recuperate because this is not. He's just not there right now. Jaden Daniels is not there, and so I don't know what's going on outside of injuries. I don't know if he's in his own head or not, but it's just he hasn't been playing like the Jaden Daniels we saw last season. Now, I do understand that last season, I will not say was necessarily a fluke by any means, but there were a lot of games that you could look at and say Washington probably shouldn't have won those games.
Like the Bears game.
Yeah, exactly. Things like that, of that nature. And I mean, if you look at it last season when Washington beat Chicago, Chicago's season went downhill. This season, as soon as Chicago beat Washington, our season went right down the drain. So maybe it was payback. I don't know. But
payback time for Caleb Williams.
But I will say, I do think that Washington is still a team that can perform well. They have the tools to do so. The main issue is this team is old. On average, this team is the oldest team in the league at an average of 28 years old. That's pretty old for a bunch of football players.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, was our offseason this past offseason was not great. There weren't a lot of, big-time moves that I was really, happy about outside of maybe Laramie Tunsil being brought in. He was pretty solid this season. Josh Connerly felt really rough in, the first, 8-9 games. Felt like he's been better recently. Terry McLaurin hasn't been in the whole season with the injury, with the holdout as well, which I thought was interesting because he was very much like Washington is my home, and then decided to do a holdout and got a $30 million a year contract, and immediately gets hurt. Tails all his time. Debo definitely stepped up. I felt like he was a very good addition. He looked obviously not 2019, not 2020, 2021 Debo. But he definitely looked solid. Luke McCaffrey stepped up at a point in the season. Noah Brown has been out for most of the season. Zach Ertz was a big step up, which prayers for him with the injury.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hopefully this isn't a career ender and that he can still play, whether it's with Washington or another team. Prayers are sent up to him.
Absolutely.
But Washington, I think, has the pieces that they need, but I think next season, if there is not a winning season next year, I believe they should go in the full rebuild. Because of the age we're looking at, Terry's getting into that age where, wide receivers are still pretty good at this age. But I don't know if he is the answer anymore. And Jaden Daniels, if he does not perform next season, maybe this is another RG3 situation, which I really hope it's not. I really hope it's not, because Jaden seems to have pretty solid arm talent, especially from what we saw last year. He's had his flashes this season, but he seems a lot more hesitant with his throws. And those hesitations have led to an interception here or there, or a pass deflection that shouldn't have been a pass deflection. And then going along with that, that's kind of all I got for Washington, to be honest with you. I mean, like I said, this season's been quite interesting. You got Super Bowl predictions?
Well, I just want to touch up on Washington real quick. It really just seems like they're not having fun like they did last year. I think that a big part of last year is the chemistry that they had, and
can't have chemistry if nobody's there.
Exactly, and they're not having that much fun. It seems like, and I don't really see the same joy that I saw last year coming from anybody, Terry McLaurin, Jaden Daniels, anyone. I don't see it. And obviously, that comes from a down year. Everybody's having a down year this year, and we haven't been able to keep our heads above the water. If you would have told me that this is the way that the playoff picture of the league was going to be after week 14 before the season, I would have told you you are absolutely insane. Like, absolutely insane. And I don't know. It's just, this has been a crazy year, definitely. And hopefully we can bounce back next year. But I guess, let's go into some playoff predictions here.
Honestly, my Super Bowl favorites coming out of the NFC. I know they're the 1 seed, but they're the strongest team. I really have the Rams making another Super Bowl run this year. I definitely believe in them. Matthew Stafford is having his best season. Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams are a good 1-2 punch. They have Kyron Williams and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was the Michigan running back that was there when they won the title with Harbaugh before he went to the Chargers. And to me, that defense is top 5, I'd say. To me, that's top 5 defense. You could argue top 3, and I wouldn't be upset about it. Very strong defensively, very strong offensively. Not a lot of flaws in their game. I just don't really see another team in the NFC that could really, come playoff time, hold a candle to them. Kind of. There are teams that can, but I feel like this is the most complete team in the NFC. And I definitely believe that this team will go to the Super Bowl this year. As with the AFC, I don't know if there's a ton of teams that I trust. New England is good. Don't get me wrong. Denver is good. Don't get me wrong. Especially the issue I have with Denver is a lot of their wins have come in very, very close games. And that concerns me, especially for the playoffs.
Right. You could have made the same argument for Washington last year too.
Yes, that is true, but there's still question marks there for if Denver can handle the playoff intensity this season. Can they keep winning these close games, or is it going to go the other way in the playoffs? I mean, no way to tell, but that's just how I feel about Denver. New England, I think, has a pretty good chance. People like to say, they played bad teams. And it's like, yes, well, you look at the difference between New England and Denver. New England has beaten these bad teams by a lot more, on average, by a lot more than Denver has, which I think is important to look at. That shows me that they're not just getting by. They're winning these games and making a statement when they win these games. And they beat both Tampa and Buffalo in Tampa and Buffalo. That's a big ask to do for a team like this. So I do believe that this next game, when they play Buffalo next at home, I think will kind of give us a decider on whether New England is 100% legit. I'm 80% sold on New England. I need them to beat Buffalo twice for me to be absolutely 100% sold on the fact that they could take the AFC and win it and go to the Super Bowl. Denver, I do believe Denver can definitely go to the Super Bowl. That defense is legit. The offense, I have some question marks, but overall, I do think that the offense is solid. Bo Nix comes up in big moments, and I think that's very important, especially for the playoffs. But like I said again, it felt like they were scraping by in a lot of games that they really should have won by more. So I think that Denver can make that Super Bowl run. I just need to see a little bit more from the offense. Jacksonville, I got no clue.
Yeah.
They just kind of came out of the blue.
Yeah. For sure.
Very solid overall team. A lot of question marks though, especially for playoff play. I'm not gonna say they're gonna Super Bowl. I say they're either a first or second round exit. Same with Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's a first round exit if they make the playoffs. I don't think Pittsburgh's going any farther. Los Angeles, I don't know. Last year they played against Jacksonville and they blew a huge lead and lost the game. Justin Herbert is not great in the playoffs. Chargers overall, when they've made the playoffs over the last however many years, have not been great, and I just don't trust them. I don't think they'll make it past the second round. Buffalo, I think Buffalo's the team I have the most faith in. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just coming from a standpoint where they have been in the AFC Championship multiple times against Kansas City and they lost. And there's a chance Kansas City isn't there this season. And if Kansas City's not there this season, Buffalo has the chance to run through the AFC. And I think they can do it. If anything, I think Buffalo and New England are my two favorites to come out of the AFC. And then, obviously you got Houston as well. And that defense is amazing. It is suffocating for any offense. But their own offense is very questionable, especially that O-line. And their running back room isn't great. But I think that if I had to, choose a third team, it would probably be Houston. And that's just because of how strong that defense is. If that defense can hold playoff teams to just 17 points, the offense just got to score 20. That's it.
Defense wins championships, man. It really does. And obviously, you have to score points to win games. But, yeah, I tend to agree with you there for sure. I'm actually going to take Bills as my one. I do think that the Buffalo Bills, if the Chiefs don't make the playoffs, capitalize. And I think that, in my opinion, that they will have the best chance, and maybe that's just recency bias, but the best chance to go to the Super Bowl for sure. I think it's Josh Allen. He's going to have a monster playoff run, knowing that this could be it. This could be it for sure. And they always put up a good fight against the Chiefs, right? They've been this close so many times. I think this year's the year they finally break through.
I think this is Josh Allen's. I think this is the last year for the Buffalo Bills Super Bowl window. If they do not make it this year, I think their Super Bowl window closes.
I do too. And I think Josh Allen knows that, and I think Josh Allen will capitalize. But we'll see. We'll see if they run into Houston and that defense just doesn't allow it, then that defense just doesn't allow it. And that's something I can definitely see happening as well.
Yeah. Who do you think will win MVP this year?
MVP?
Me personally, it's between two guys, and that's Drake May and Matthew Stafford. I think that's 1A, 1B right now. I think they're both playing at elite levels.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Definitely between them two for sure. I don't really think there's anybody else that you can really point to and say this is the guy this year.
If you asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said Jonathan Taylor was in the discussion. He's had kind of down weeks, and it's been a little disappointing to say the least. But I think Jonathan Taylor, unless he pulls out some crazy games over the next 4 games, pulling out 150 yards, 2 touchdowns over the next 4 games, and is the reason that Indianapolis is able to make the playoffs, then I think he's back in the discussion. As of right now, I think he's right outside of the MVP race, and I think he could very easily get back into it. Like I said, Drake May, Matthew Stafford. You could make a case for Jordan Love. I think definitely can make a case for Love, but I don't really think that he's going to be in the MVP race. I think he will be in the race this season.
Maybe
I don't think he's going to win it. He might get 3rd or 4th in the race, but I doubt he's going to win it. 1 and 2, in my opinion, I think are definitively Drake May and Matthew Stafford this season. And I would not be upset if either of them won. They've both had amazing seasons. They've led their team to do amazing things. So if one of them wins it, they absolutely deserve it. And yeah.
I would like to see Drake May win it just because, young guy.
Sophomore season.
Just going and, yeah.
Sophomore slump does not exist for Drake May.
Not at all. Neither for Bo Nix. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Bills, definitely my number one in the AFC. My number one in the NFC, I got to agree with you here, man. I think it's the Rams because, like you said, they are the best well-rounded team, and I think that's what's got to happen. You got to have a well-rounded team.
Yes, and I think the other thing, too, is people will say Seattle. Seattle's the other one. My problem with Seattle is Sam Darnold. You look at last season, those last couple of games, and as soon as he got to the playoffs, he got haunted by pass ghost and played absolutely terrible football.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford is someone that I trust. He has been to a Super Bowl. He's been to plenty of playoff games. He's one of the best pure passers that I've ever seen, and I trust him more than I do Sam Darnold. And I understand if you were to say Seattle. I mean, they're both 10-3 for a reason.
Yeah.
But I still believe it is Los Angeles over Seattle. And I'm not going to say it's not close, because it definitely is close. But Matthew Stafford is just that one piece that I think makes the difference between the two teams, in my opinion. I just need to see it from Sam Darnold in the playoffs. We've seen it in the regular season over the last 2 years. I need to see it in the playoffs. And maybe he does do it this year. And if he does, good for him. Good for Seattle. I'm happy for them. But as it stands, it is Los Angeles. It is Los Angeles. They are more complete. I'm more trusting in Matthew Stafford over Sam Darnold.
Yeah. So let's just say we get a Rams-Bills Super Bowl. If that's the case, who do you see maybe coming out on top?
Los Angeles. I mean, honestly, I think this is the Bills Super Bowl window. I don't think they beat I don't think they beat Los Angeles. I really don't think they beat Los Angeles. And I'm not saying this because I don't think they can. They obviously can. But I think it's like a 65-35. Like, Los Angeles has like a more of a 65% chance to beat Buffalo if they were to meet in the Super Bowl, in my opinion. I think that, again, they're just such a well-rounded, well-oiled machine. I mean, they hit you over and over and over, and you feel like you can't do anything about it. I mean, look at Devontae Adams. He's got like 14 receiving touchdowns. I think 11 of them come within the 5-yard line on the goal line. They know it's going to go to him. You know it's going to Adams, and yet he still gets it every single time. And then you have down the middle of the field, you have Puka Nacua, who has some of the most insane hands I've ever seen. He can make crazy catches. He can make you miss. He's a big guy and can just run right through you. Like, it's just... Like, Josh Allen doesn't have a Puka Nacua or a Devontae Adams or a Kyron Williams coming out of the backfield. So, yeah, I do believe it is Los Angeles, and that is going to be winning the Super Bowl this season. I think they're the Super Bowl winners. I think Matthew Stafford gets his second ring, and that's my prediction. I think it's going to be Los Angeles winning the Super Bowl over Buffalo this season.
I tend to agree with you, man. I do think I do think LA has the slight edge. I do think that they are the team to beat. Definitely in the NFC, but also just in the playoffs in general. In the NFL, I do think LA is the team to beat for sure. Yeah, I mean, you pretty much summed it up, man. They're just a well-rounded team. Matthew Stafford's been there before. Josh Allen hasn't. Maybe the lights tend to be getting too bright for Josh Allen. Even though it's not really him, he does tend to play well in the big moments. But we haven't seen him in a Super Bowl. We've seen Matthew Stafford do this time and time again. I do think that he could probably do it again. And I mean, we'll just have to see what happens. But I do think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah,
for sure. It's a pretty safe pick.
Yeah, it's a safe pick, but it's hard. It's really hard to pick against them. Like, how are you supposed to? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like it's nothing against any of the other teams in the playoff race. It really isn't.
They're all there for a reason.
Exactly, but it's
except for Pittsburgh.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's just it's hard to pick against a team that just does nothing but win. And when they win, it's decisive, and you just don't see many flaws. It's hard to pick out many flaws in just how they play, and that's just how it is. I mean, can't really do much about it.
Yeah, I mean they just. What if it was LA and LA in the Super Bowl after the Dodgers won the World Series?
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. LA won the Super Bowl. Then I think Kansas City won the Super Bowl. Then LA Dodgers won back-to-back World Series. And now LA has a chance to go back, and Los Angeles gets 4 championships over the last 5 years between 2 separate sports.
They have 2 chances between the Chargers and the Rams to go back to the Super Bowl this year. The luxury, man. The luxury for LA fans is actually insane. And there's no luxury for Washington fans at all right now.
No. Our luxury was 2018, 2019, and that was it. That was it. That's all we got. And over the last 25 years, that's all we got. Is a Stanley Cup and a World Series. Now, if you go like pre-2000s, we got 3 Super Bowls and 2 championships pre-Super Bowl. But I mean, that was like 30, 40 years ago. No, I'm sorry. It was like 33, 34 years ago. A long time ago.
Yeah,
before I was born. Before I was even a thought.
Yep, we weren't even here when that happened, and.
The only thing we've been able to see football-wise is a NFC Championship game.
I just pray that maybe we'll be, maybe we'll be here.
I just hope we get 500.
If they ever win a Super Bowl.
I just want 500 next season.
Yeah, for sure. That would definitely be nice. Anything else you wanted to talk about?
I guess one last thing. I do want to give a shout out to TJ Watt. Prayers up for him. He's in the hospital with a lung issue currently. Prayers out to him and his family. I hope that he is okay. I hope it's nothing too serious and that his career isn't cut short. Again, prayers out to his family. We really hope to see you back in the playing condition soon. You are a great player. You've done great things, and just prayers to you, sir.
Yep, definitely. I mean, it sucks to see things like this happen. People really do work really hard. Professional athletes work really hard to be in the spot they are, and it can just be taken away with one little thing, and it really does suck to see. So definitely prayers up to him and Zach Ertz and
all the other players under serious injuries.
Yep.
But I think that's going to do it for us. Once again, we are LTA Sportscast. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram. Obviously, this is our YouTube. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch. Currently, we're not doing anything on Twitch, but we do have plans for that in the future that we will let you know down the future. But as for right now, thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for stopping by.
Thanks, guys. See you later.